General app performance and boot times are speedy thanks to the very fast SSD. Asus has set the display scaling to 250%, which gives you an effective display resolution of a little under 1920 by 1080. Windows does a good job of scaling icons and text which are native to the new operating system, but some apps that don't account for this are rendered at the native resolution, which makes everything too small to see without squinting. EA's Origin Game Manager, for instance, didn't comply with Windows scaling. We noticed a very small delay in the animations when opening new windows or apps, which can be mistaken for lag, but it's just Windows scaling up the resolution. It's very subtle and will likely go unnoticed by most. The palm rest area runs very cool and doesn't heat up even while gaming. One thing we did note was that the base, near the hinge, does get hot after a while, and so does the bottom portion of display, where the Asus logo is. The keyboard is comfortable to use with very little fatigue creeping in, even after extended periods of typing. You can also choose between 3 levels of key backlighting. We don't have any complaints with the trackpad either, which works well and doesn't get in the way while typing. We got 42 FPS in Cinebench R15's OpenGL test and 584 points in the CPU test. Pulvray completed with a trace time of 3 minutes 25 seconds, which is a good number. The ZenBook Pro really shines in storage subsystem read-write tests, posting better numbers than more expensive gaming laptops. In NCSoft Sandra's physical disk module, we got an aggregate drive speed of 1.4 Gbps. The file system bandwidth test returned 1.4 Gbps for sequential read speed and 1.3 Gbps for sequential write. The UX501 isn't marketed as a gaming laptop, but it can very satisfactorily crunch pixels for a good gaming experience. Gaming at the native resolution is a silly idea since even high-end desktops would struggle to fill up a 4K screen. Dropping the resolution to 1080p makes games playable, without losing much on quality. This also lets you bump up the eye candy for a better visual experience. Tomb Raider returned a healthy average frame rate of 49 FPS at the Ultra preset. Crysis 3 was unplayable at very high settings, so we had to drop it to high to get smooth enough frame rates. Even with FXA and 16xF at full HD resolution, we got a healthy average frame rate of 32 FPS. Gameplay gets a little choppy during the outdoor fight scenes in the opening sequence, but that can be remedied by dialing down some of the settings. Far Cry 4 was also just about playable at 1080p, with the quality set to Ultra, and SMA and BAL enabled. We managed 21.4 FPS on average here, which is not ideal, but we wanted to see till what point we could push the hardware. Of course, dropping the quality settings down a notch will give you a more playable frame rate. The display scaling can cause slight glitches when changing settings in-game, especially the resolution. We also came across another peculiar software glitch where some games and benchmarks would fail to detect the NVIDIA GPU and crash. We had this issue with Battlefield 4 and 3 Mark Fire Strike. Even after updating the necessary drivers, the issue still persisted. We're hoping this is an isolated incident with our review unit. The ZenBook Pro is great for multimedia use. HD videos, especially Full HD and beyond, look stunning due to the IPS panel. Colors are rich and vibrant and the viewing angles are very good. The audio levels are decently loud with good mids and highs. Coming to battery life, we managed to get 3 hours 42 minutes in Battery Eater Pro, which translates to roughly 5 hours of real-world usage. During regular use, we managed to get close to this figure with lots of web browsing, using Office documents, and playing a bit of music. Verdict: the Asus ZenBook Pro UX501 turns out to be one of the better premium laptops in the market. It offers high-end specifications usually found in more expensive laptops, which makes it great value. The 4K display is stunning and is superb for office and multimedia work. The SSD also delivers some of the fastest read-write speeds we've come across. Then, there's the aluminium build, powerful internals and decent battery life on top of all of that. Having a 4K resolution on such a small screen results in a few niggles. Not all applications adhere to Windows scaling guidelines, so you might be forced to use apps at 100% resolution, where menus and text can get unreadably small. The lower bezel of the display also tends to get very hot, even without gaming. This isn't something you'll notice with regular use, but we hope it doesn't have an adverse effect in the long run. Finally, the screen is quite reflective, which makes it difficult to use under sunlight or even indoors, with artificial lighting behind you. Even maxing out the brightness level doesn't fix this. Price, MRP, $1,15,999.